Welcome, bienvenue, welcome once again to another live stream. I have with me in the virtual studio the incandescent, incredible Karen Bashford. She's an empowerment mentor. She is a Reiki practitioner. She is a spiritual coach. But more importantly, she is a human being that goes through the same crises as you do. We were just talking about that. And it's all about, I suppose, recognizing and working out how you react to it and how you deal with it. And you were saying years ago you would have shoved this down and pushed this away into a corner rather than actually
I would
facing
not have allowed myself to cry in front of you for a start off. I would never ever cry. In fact, it was quite interesting how little I cried.
But now, over, I suppose, not through the training, but through the practice of having helped others, I suppose that helps you see inward as well as seeing other people in true perspective. I suppose it gives you pause for thought there as well. I mean, today's talk is all about how you survive trauma and abuse, and how it can make you not just a survivor but a thriver. I think I might coin that actually, but yes, but it's true, right?
Yes, very much so. I'm so much better, and so working with all my clients, they've helped me heal myself as much as I've helped them heal themselves, because I can see in them what happens in me, as they can see when I'm working with them, or experience when I'm working with them, what I've been through, because I can pull that knowledge to help them. But at the same time, they're sharing their experiences and stories. They're actually helping me heal at a deeper level every time.
So, can anyone's trauma be healed? Is there a way of getting past all trauma, or getting through all trauma, I should say?
Yeah, it takes time, obviously. That with most of my clients, it's usually a month's worth of working together, and we really dive deep, because that's the aim of how I work, is finding the answers as rapidly as possible. So you then start living life as you're supposed to be living it, happy and joyful. But it doesn't matter how deep you go, there's always going to be at some point a trigger that comes up. My today is a prime example. Yesterday I didn't understand. I didn't have a good day. I sort of understood, but I let it go. Because my mum had been dead now for just over 6 weeks. So I'm still processing, obviously, which is to be expected. But today is her birthday, and it hit me this morning, not that long ago actually, that it was her birthday. And it was like, oh my God, she's not here anymore. And that's just a general everyday experience we can all have, as something can just remind us. The date reminded me. But it can be silly little things that can remind us. We can pick up, I don't know, a particular pen that we like, and it's a reminder of somebody we've loved or who's no longer in our life for whatever reason. That can be a trigger point, but it's not just the memories it triggers of that person. It can trigger other memories as well.
It's quite amazing how easy a human can link either a physical item or an event, a person or a circumstance to something else that happened, and for it to trigger it. But I guess a lot of what you teach is how you live with its existence, not try and pretend it didn't or hide it.
You can't hide it. If you hide it, it will come out eventually. I hid my problems, my trauma, my abusive relationships from so many people. Very, very few people knew what I'd been through. And actually, if it weren't for the fact I share a lot of the stories, most people would still not know what I've been through. But it makes you stronger. it actually shows you who you really are, because you never ever go through more than you can cope with at any one time. And being open about how I feel now has actually empowered me far more to empower the clients I work with, because it allows them to recognize that actually letting go is the best thing you can do for yourself.
Right. I suppose that's the eventual goal of anyone, or should be, of anyone who suffered trauma, is to get to the point where they can let go without hiding it.
Yeah. And even if you don't want to talk about it, unlike me, most people do not want to talk about trauma or abuse. But I choose to do so because of the lessons I've learned from it. And I have a natural gift that enables me to help other women move beyond their own trauma. So why shouldn't I share that? But I can appreciate, for a lot of women, admitting that they've been abused or traumatized by anyone or anything is hard for them, because it's a judgment against them. Why did she get abused? What is she doing wrong, kind of situation. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can let it go. And the great thing about it is, because I work at the soul level, it can go in 90 minutes. I can move somebody from being traumatized and really upset about their life and such like into being happy and joyful and actually starting to enjoy their lives within 90 minutes.
But that's not by removing the memory of that trauma.
No,
it's almost giving you the tools to be able to coexist with it, I guess.
It's not removing the memory, because you never remove the memory, but it's giving yourself permission to let go of everything that you associate with that. So if it's been a physical abuse, you will still have the memory, but you can release the pain that's been stored in your body. You can release your emotional shock of being hit or whatever.
Right.
It all ties in together. You cannot separate mind, body, or soul.
It seems a lot of people I meet, it's incredible how many people have had some sort of trauma in their lives.
Everyone has.
But most people I find out want to squash it down, to submerge it, to make sure it never sees the light of day.
But it's the worst thing you can do, because at some point your body will turn around and say to you, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I need to get rid of this. And that can happen because it just gets overloaded with emotional reactions all the time. And every time you have an emotional reaction, you're adding to your trauma. And what happens is, like for me, an example, if you use me, I landed up having a nervous breakdown. That's because my body went, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I've shown you can have cancer. I've given you an autoimmune disease. You've had pancreatitis, and you name it. I went through the gambit of them all. And that was simply because I wasn't prepared to deal with what I was emotionally feeling or not feeling. Nowadays, I'm grateful when I burst into tears for no apparent reason, because it says my body's recognizing, actually, it's okay. I can cry. I can let this go. I don't have to keep holding on to it. And
so
that's
the crying,
place where you want to be.
The crying's a good thing in this scenario.
It's brilliant. I encourage my clients to cry all the time. I'm horrified if they go for a session with me and they do not cry. Because crying is your body's way of releasing emotions. And yet, ironically, we're all encouraged not to cry. It's not the done thing.
Well, no, absolutely. It shows weakness, doesn't it?
Yes, but it doesn't. It actually shows strength.
Right.
Because it shows you're connected to yourself and you understand your own emotions. If you can't understand your own emotions, how can you possibly help somebody else?
Right. It must be hard for someone who's lived with trauma for a long time, who it's been their uncomfortable bedfellow, but they are so used to it that they're almost frightened to move past it. You can almost wallow in that sense, can't you? I've seen people do it. But going through the process with you means that they will still be able to look at it, but exist, and that's it, and feel
joy. They don't have the reaction. Yeah, they don't have the reaction. They can see why they behave as they have, why their reactions are there in the first place, the stories they created that have become the trigger points. They can see all that, but they know that they don't have to hold on to it. They can let that go. That doesn't mean to say that they've forgiven the person who did the harm to them. Far from it. They've actually forgiven themselves. Because we do not know what we do not know. We do not know that somebody saying cruel words to us are going to impact us that much as children. Even as adults, we don't ever imagine how much damage can be done to us by somebody saying something rather cruel or offensive to us. We just have no idea how we react to any given situation because it's all programmed. And we don't know our programs unless we explore ourselves.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Would you agree that these programs are a product of our parents' own attitudes and how they were programmed, and the locality they find themselves in, and the mores of the group that they were almost brought up by? Because one is sort of parented by one's friends and outside family beyond your four walls, and all of that gives you a whole sense of attitudes and for instance, that one shouldn't be crying in the first place.
Yeah.
It must be so hard, though, for
It's
someone who's lived with that. So how do you bring them out of themselves, Karen, to be able to start the process with you?
It starts with a 30-minute conversation. I like to get to know the people I'm going to be working with because it's very much one-to-one. It's not group coaching or anything like that. It's one-to-one coaching or mentoring and healing. I get to know the person. I understand their stories. I don't want to know their history. I don't need to know their history. It's not good for me to either go into it because it then traumatizes them again. Last thing I want to do is to create even more trauma in them.
No.
So they give me
a cycle of one. Yeah.
Yeah. They give me a very basic outline of what their life is like. I know instantly from that basic outline what they need to do. And because I work intuitively, I can sense where's the best place to start for them. It could be that they're so worried about finances that unless they deal with the financial situation, nothing else is really going to move forward. So I work with them to actually start seeing money as a friend rather than an enemy, because if they've got very little money, they're going to see money as an enemy rather than something that can help them. So we deal with that. It could be a situation where a parent has been the problem, an abusive parent. If that's not dealt with initially, it's not going to have an effect on the other work we do. And it's going to continually hold them back. So it's having this sense of knowing where to start with them. That's why it's so geared for the client, not for me. I don't have much say in this at all. The client will always tell me through their reactions, through what they imagine and things like that. I then know what the clients need. I don't need them to tell me. I know what they need because of the way they're reacting.
So would you summarize today's topic, which of course is the benefits of healing or trauma and abuse, just to bring us home?
Okay, summary is financially, if you're struggling, you stop struggling. It takes a bit of time. Obviously, you don't get millions coming in overnight, but you become more confident in your own abilities to financially secure yourself. It improves relationships, whether you've got a bad relationship with parents or anything like that, or it gives you the courage to be able to step away from them, because
Yes.
sometimes that's the best option. It's whatever's right for the person. You look after yourself. You naturally start losing weight if you're overweight. You naturally start healing any illnesses you have. They improve over time because your body doesn't need to hold on to give you warnings to these illnesses. You're actually dealing with the situation. So you can let go of all these warnings that your body gives you, like cancer, autoimmune disease, skin problems, anything like that. Your body knows that once it starts to let go, it can start healing itself.
Right.
I don't
Right.
tell you how to heal. Far from it. You know how to heal yourself, and your body knows how to heal itself. So you've got that benefit already. You're happier. You're more relaxed. You're calmer. You can see fun in everything you do. And that's what we're supposed to be. As children, we have so much fun. As adults, do we?
Occasionally. Well, do you know what? I actually quite enjoy this. This is, for me, this is part of my fun. If you enjoy what we do here, guys, if you're enjoying what we're talking about, I would recommend coming back every Wednesday, because this is where we'll find us, where we're talking about different aspects of what Karen's whole mission is and how it can help people, telling stories and increasing awareness. But until next week, I wish you all a beautiful end to the week and, of course, great mental health. Thank you for spending time today. Bye-bye now.
Bye.